Welcome to Source Not Found, a show about the worst versions of your favorite things. Every other week, we explore an IP, franchise, or fandom by way of its sequels, spin-offs, and side projects. Basically anything but the source material. I'm Brandon June, and I am Sam Neill's old man Merlin makeup.
And I am Bo Woodall, and I am what you would call a hand wizard.
Oh, that was my backup one.
Was it really?
Yeah. I was like, which one is Bo more or less likely to do? I was like, I feel like both of these might be one of yours. Yeah, I do hand wizard stuff.
It was between hand wizard and Martin Short's various wigs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He makes some choices. One of them is a very unfortunate Mickey Rooney in
Oh my God,
Breakfast at Breakfast at Tiffany's? Just very, very racist character. It's unfortunate.
What's funny is like I understand the callback because that's what it was. It was a callback to Mickey Rooney, like completely. But
you
it
don't
doesn't
call back to that. I'm sorry. It's just that's not you don't. No,
but
sorry.
It doesn't
Nope.
change the fact that I watched that and was like, oh shit. Like,
yeah, it sucks because like he is incredible in this, but like that is a very bad choice, and it's like 5 seconds, not even, and it's like you just excise that needs to be gone.
the worst part is it's not an acting choice. That was in the script. They had costumes designed for it.
Oh no, it's a whole bit. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
They really, yep. They made sure that you noticed what they were. Hey, so
Hey gang,
hi.
how you doing?
Immediately into the weeds. Week 2.
Yep. And we're back, baby.
We are not talking Mickey Rooney today. We're talking Merlin, the miniseries from 1998. Do I have that right? 1998.
Yes, 1998 Merlin miniseries.
And it's 1998 as shit.
In what I would say the best way.
I agree. Yeah. I'm just gonna say it. I had a great time.
I fucking had a blast.
Yeah.
I also
this is
had a
good time.
couple of realizations that we'll have to get into in a second. But
Okay.
unlike with Mage we got in the weeds real fast. We got away from our normal like template and how our discussion normally goes because we were both so wildly disappointed with what we experienced. And that is a little bit.
We were just grasping for anything to cling to.
Anything at all.
And just like, here's something, we'll talk about that. Because there was, yeah. This was a very different experience. I came away from this feeling fulfilled.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do this time is let's get back to the basics. We're back to a movie. We're back to how we fucking work. So I would like to, instead of what I would normally do and read the synopsis from the IMDb page. No, Brandon, please tell the listeners what I'm holding up right now.
I'm looking at the DVD case of Merlin, starring Sam Neill. The art, which is just, we talked about this. It's kind of like the inverse of Event Horizon. You only have Sam Neill's eyes.
Yeah, it's real good. So I thought I would read the synopsis from the back of this DVD. So we get the most pure synopsis we could possibly have. The tagline is, imagine a world where dreams come true and magic is real. In a time long past, when magic was fading from the world of men, the malevolent sorceress Mab summoned forth a mighty wizard to keep the power of the old ways alive. The wizard's name was Merlin. But when his heart is touched by the love of a beautiful Nimue, Merlin turns away from Mab's dark enchantments. Allying himself with the young warrior who will rise to become the legendary King Arthur, Merlin pledges his mystic skills to Arthur's visionary cause, bringing peace and justice to the realm haunted by monsters and ravaged by war, and setting the stage for the ultimate clash of good versus evil. With spellbinding performances from a stellar international cast and spectacular special effects from Jim Henson's Creature Shop, Merlin conjures up an epic golden age of wondrous magic, supernatural passions, and unforgettable adventure.
I was spellbound.
Now, I have to say, I have a few problems with that. Like, he doesn't ally with Arthur, he fucking raises Arthur. But
that's true.
We'll get into that in a second.
What is not parenting, if not the ultimate alliance.
The ultimate alliance,
I guess,
is between your child and yourself. So this miniseries, Merlin, was released April 26th, 1998.
And I watched this as it aired on TV. Did you?
As did I.
Hell yeah. And I had not seen it since then.
Now, we were not the only people to have watched this when it aired, because first, it had a $30 million budget, this miniseries, which for 1998 is fucking massive.
I remember it being like really hyped up. I remember it being like a TV event that like my whole family was looking forward to. We all watched it together. It
broke records for how many viewers tuned in. Just guess. Guess how many viewers tuned in to this miniseries.
I'm bad at this game. 30 million?
70 million viewers.
Wow.
70 million Americans tuned in to this show.
I don't like, do you have any sense of like, for most primetime TV programming, like what is the usual range?
Well, I remember, was it MASH? The series finale of MASH was like the most watched TV show ever, and it was like 80 million.
Okay.
Or 90 million. So
it's up there.
We're not far off.
Yeah.
And even more than that, this motherfucker was nominated for 15 Emmys and 4 Golden Globes, and it won 4 Emmys.
Oh, which ones did it win? Do you know?
Effects, costume, makeup, and art direction.
Okay.
Like, this was a big fucking deal when it dropped. I'm blown away. And it was released in as a miniseries. Like, most of the time you hear a miniseries, you think like, what, 3 to 5 episodes of like 45 minutes each or something like that. No, this bad boy dropped 2 episodes, an hour and a half each. It is 100.
So that's how it aired originally? Okay, because I just watched it. I streamed it, and it was 3 episodes of an hour each. So they've changed the structure
breakup?
See, I watched it all in one shot. So where did we have the breakup?
Because for me,
and we had credits after each. Yeah.
No,
on DVD it's 2 parts.
On the DVD, it's one experience. It's 182 minutes long. But
yeah.
The breakup that I recall is after Arthur is born. It like brings us back to the quote unquote modern day with old Merlin. And he basically is just like, shakes his head. Where was I? This is where the story is now. I thought that's how it worked.
I just watched it. I should know. Where was the break? But yeah, I want to say like most of the young Merlin stuff was like the first episode was primarily that. I'm trying to remember, like, did we get into like Uther and all that? Was that episode 2?
I mean, you had to have gotten to at least Vortigern.
Yeah. Right.
So
anyway,
let's put it this way. It's a pretty, for me at least, it's a pretty fast moving film, despite the fact that it's 182 minutes long.
Yeah, I agree.
It starts with basically Queen Mab, the queen of the old ways, wanting to bring a wizard to the world to bring the old ways back to Britain, to basically save all of the fairies and elves and mythical ones from being forgotten. She brings our boy back. We get young Merlin, who meets young Nimue, falls in love, learns a little bit about magic, and then we hit the classic kind of Arthurian legend, Uther defeating Vortigern, Merlin kind of being interposing and kind of like playing them against one another the entire time, helping the birth of Arthur. And the second part, the other hour and a half is basically the story of Arthur and Camelot, ending with, spoilers, Arthur dying and Merlin being basically left on his own until he gets his happy ending at the very, very end. Thanks be to Martin Short's Frik.
And honestly, I enjoyed the entirety of it, but what really set it apart from some other recent Arthur experiences I've had is that first hour or so, the young Merlin.
Yeah.
And I was kind of getting a little bit of what you were talking about, where that was like a formative experience for you and why you identify with Merlin more so than Arthur when we were talking about in our Arthur 101 episode. It's like, oh, I am fully in on just the Merlin journey with this one. And I think it starts off really well. I think his backstory is engrossing. And I liked establishing his character and like watching him grow and really like fleshing out his character and like grow like either like a branch and or Queen Mav's fucking fingy arrows at the end. That final battle.
Damn, dude, yeah.
That final battle. I know I'm jumping ahead, but it's like you cut from her just like big like mouth on the camera, just like hair dryer on high, like blow attack.
Magic in this show is all over the fucking place, man. You're either a god or you have a hair dryer that you're just blowing on somebody real good.
Oh my god, it's okay. The thing is, I really love this. This was a good time, but goddamn, is it not goofy? It is 1998 made for TV as shit. Even like Mab, she looks like she used to front like a Finnish metal band, but had to like retire because of emphysema. You know, because she has that like sort of raspy whisper that she does. She's making some choices.
Yeah. Dude, the fact that I had no idea when I was a kid when I first saw this, that she is also the Lady of the Lake.
Oh, is she? I didn't know they were the same actress.
No fucking clue until I watched it this time, and I was like, they're sisters. She's the same actress.
Yeah.
This is how that fucking works. And the voices are so wildly different that I never... never would have guessed.
Yeah, she's Finnish metal band. Lady of the Lake is like, I don't know, like experimental shoegaze, maybe from like 1986.
Yeah, I can see that.
Something. She's glowing.
Some weird Xanadu ass shit.
I mean, you got Frik as well. Like he is okay. Martin Short is incredible in this, but like his like just typical goblin look, like his basic, like his actual visage, right?
His gnome.
I don't. It's like. Huh?
He's a gnome.
Oh, sorry,
yeah, like
gnome.
his creepy ass gnome is what he calls himself a grumpy old gnome or something like that.
He looks like Zach Braff cosplaying as Marilyn Manson, cosplaying as Dobby.
Christ alive, dude.
he's goofy.
Damn.
But then he like flips into. Huh?
Ooh, sorry. Like I'm processing. That trilogy, the trifecta of fucking shit you just threw at my face, man. Like
it's awesome. And then he turns into just these luscious locks of Martin Short when he like puts on his illusion.
Oh, when he becomes the swashbuckler and he looks gorgeous.
He's so gorgeous.
He's a handsome man.
Martin Short, like one of our greatest living actors, one of our greatest comedic actors, incredible. Yes, he made a very poor choice. He was hired to make a very poor choice briefly
in this movie. Yeah.
In the various characters that he's rolling out. But aside from that one, my God,
he's incredible.
Like, he's incredible. Like just being like a character actor and being goofy and being like this underling to Mab. But then also it's, man, when Morgan Le Fay is thrown down the steps and he holds her, he cradles her as she dies. And what she asks, like, am I still beautiful? And you get that shot of Frik. It's like, I don't know what he says, but like, you're always beautiful to me, or you'll always be beautiful to me. My God. Like, I didn't know, like, I did not expect to tear up at Frik holding Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly, between Martin Short and Helena Bonham Carter, Like, they came to fucking play. Like,
yeah,
they left nothing behind.
She is so good. She is so good in this. And her character is so good. It's so well written. I feel the conflict, and I feel like the natural justification for Morgan Le Fay's actions in this adaptation of this tale more so than like any other in recent memory. Because, you know, she's always cast as like a villain. You know, she seduced her way through like trickery into Arthur's bed, and like they begat a child, this incest Mordred child, and you know, all that. But like, I mean, it's always been the case. Like, no, Uther used trickery, and Merlin was his accomplice.
Yeah, it felt, you know, it felt real bad watching that and being like, oh God, our hero is an accomplice to rape, effectively.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's fucked. And it's always been that way, and it's always been a part of the tale. But I guess I just like, I felt like a lot of times when they adapt this, it's like, well, that's the setup, and we kind of just like brush past that, and it is what it is. But she's still the villain. You know, Arthur's still our guy. And I felt like in this one, like, I don't know, it just gave her a little bit of extra screen time, and like, I think it humanized her to a degree where like it doesn't happen in some adaptations where like, yeah, she is aggrieved. She is the aggrieved party, you know, and she has as much right. She is, I mean, like, the Mordred's the offspring, like, from her, and like there's a clear lineage there, and like Mordred is an awful piece of shit, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I guess, yeah, I thought it was very well done.
And that actor also, the guy who plays Mordred, he plays a piece of shit real good.
Oh my God, just chewing up that round table.
Dude,
it's like
he eats every bite of scenery he can take in, and I fucking loved every second of it. Like, every time Mordred's on the screen and he's like, oh, Gwaine, I thought you'd enjoy some nice conversation before you die. And it's like, fuck off, dude. Damn.
I think it's when they're like deciding, they're pushing Arthur to like try Guinevere, like to uphold the law because, you know, she's committed treason by cheating on him with Lancelot. And he finally, like, begrudgingly says, like, okay, I will uphold the law. And he's, like, slapping the round table, like, a splendid decision, eh, father? Like, oh, my God, he's incredible in this.
God, he's so
such
good.
a piece of shit. He's such a piece of shit. And I thought, like, okay, it's the scene, like, not too long before that where he's playing William Tell back at, like, his lair with a bunch of just underlings and like shooting apples, and he accidentally like slips and hits one of them in the shoulder, and I was like, oh, we got like a little Joffrey here, and he's probably gonna like really like enrage me as a viewer, but not really, because he's having so much fun doing it.
Yeah,
like, he's a little fucking weasel, but I don't know. it's a very good performance.
Not to mention the fact that, like, maybe it's just me, but every second he's on screen, there's a smirk there that I can't tell if it's the character or the actors, and either way, I believe it. Like, he is having, both the actor and the character is having so much fun being an obnoxious little shit in every second of every scene. And I fucking love it. I love it so much.
Everyone's having fun. Rutger Hauer's having fun. He is also wonderful as Vortigern.
Yeah.
Like, he's so intense and intimidating, and I love just like, it's genuinely funny the way his tower keeps collapsing.
What's the architect's faces every fucking time, where he's just like, no sire, we've made sure the foundations are solid as.
You just hear the crash, and the camera pans over, like it collapses behind them. Like, get me a different architect.
Yeah, every time.
He's also got that one fucking line. That's a mistake many of my enemies make. They think before they act. I act before I think.
Right after he's knocked Merlin out cold.
Oh, he's so good. He's so good. I mean, I guess that takes us to our main guy, Sam Neill as Merlin. How do you feel?
Okay, I have a couple of things to say about this. So stick with me. One, Sam Neill is gorgeous. Like,
yes.
Holy shit. Yes. I've watched Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 3 and Event Horizon. Like I've seen a good number of Sam Neill movies. The Mountains of Madness, Mouths of Madness, the kind of remake of Lovecraft that he starred in. Like, I've seen young Sam Neill, I've seen old Sam Neill. He is beautiful in this movie, and he is owning every scene that he is in.
Yes.
He's spectacular.
Just a quick moment. Yes. Quick thought on his physical attributes. There is a moment at the very end when he's de-aging, when he's found Nimue and he's using the last of his magic, the end of magic, right?
Yep.
To turn from old man Merlin and old Nimue, old woman Nimue, like to turn them back young again.
To basically
right?
turn back the clock so they can have their years together again. Yeah.
Yes. He's in all of his goofy, made-for-TV old man makeup.
Yeah.
But kind of like Tim Allen in the Santa Claus, you see it like change, like morph over his face, like a crossfade or whatever you would call it.
Yeah.
There is a moment where you still have like the shortening old man beard, but it's like at a reasonable length, and the rest of his face is like youngified. There's a split second there where you get the beard overlaid over younger Sam Neill's face. He's the most beautiful man I've ever seen. Like, why can't young man Merlin wear this beard a little bit? My God. Oh my God. It's like Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan, just like, yes, bearded Sam Neill, but not old man Sam Neill.
Perfect.
He's perfect.
So I don't have a trivia corner for this movie because there was some trivia, but not enough for a full corner. So I'm gonna toss in a little tidbits here and there. He was offered the fucking role of Gandalf because of his acting in this movie, or in this miniseries, before Ian McKellen.
Wow. Okay. They made the right choice, but he wouldn't have been bad.
No, it wouldn't have been bad at all.
He actually, his narration is so good. Like the framing device of him telling this whole tale, like the whole story is basically he's telling a tale to like some assembled children and townsfolk, like years after all of these events have transpired.
Decades.
So we have old man Merlin and he's flashing back. And so you get his narration cutting in from time to time. And it is so just like pregnant with emotion. Like it was like world weariness and like remorse and nostalgia. And
for me,
I really felt it.
It's, I mean, honestly, every time old man Merlin speaks, it's heavy with loss and wisdom. And every time he speaks, especially in the beginning where he actually just kind of introduces the whole thing with like, once upon a time, no, I can't say that because you'll think it's a fairy tale. And this is not a fairy tale. And it's like, oh shit. I don't think this is going to have a happy ending. This is not going to end the way that I want it to end. And it's just...
Yeah, and you wouldn't think it
he's
would.
good.
I mean, it doesn't usually for him. It doesn't usually. And yeah, you get the wisdom because like, yeah, this is a man that like oversaw and was like the architect of like some major events that shaped this world.
Yeah.
And he can view those events at a distance because he's lived through them and he's seen, you know, leaders rise and fall, and he knows like he played a small role in a much greater drama. So he has that distance, but you never get the sense, and he doesn't, that he has forgotten his human side. You always feel his emotions. Like he has a certain level of detachment because of his wisdom and his age and his experience, but he's never lost his love for Nimue.
No.
He's never forgotten his mistake with Galahad. You know, he learns later on with the Lady of the Lake, like he made a wrong choice and has to come to terms with that, you know.
And
like,
to make mistakes is human, in the words of Lady of the Lake. And he is, is half human. Yeah.
Just incredible performance. He's got like, he has that wisdom side. Like you can see him as like, yes, the voice of reason and wisdom, like the one that like our leaders rely upon. But then he's also got like that boyish glint in his eye. You know, you have that side of him as well.
When he straight up walks up to a king who has murdered people in front of us and goes, I believe your majesty is in danger of seeming a little dumb. And I'm like, oh shit. oh God, you can't say that. And it's just...
Yeah, that's with Vortigern, right? It's like, what did you call me? Like, I called you stupid.
Yeah, I said you may be stupid. And it's just... Your Majesty, patience is not one of your virtues, and you don't have many other virtues to count on, so don't really worry about not having this one. And it's like, oh my... Dude, you cannot... Holy shit, you can't say that. He's gonna come at you hard.
It was like watching this for the first time. Like it was amazing. Like some scenes really stuck with me that I've remembered all these years. Like Lancelot riding in to save Guinevere.
Yeah.
From the flames. Hand wizard stuff.
Wizard stuff.
Merlin plucking the moon from the sky. That stuck with me. Definitely the sex scenes, because like I said, I watched this with my family. So just like sitting on the sofa next to, like my mom, and then like the sex in the candle wax.
And the candle
that
wax.
was like an early,
yeah.
Like, this is very awkward for me as a young kid watching this with my family. And it's not, like, they're pretty tame sex scenes. They're over pretty quick. It's, it's TV miniseries, but at that age, like, oh, this is very awkward.
Yeah.
So I remembered those. Yeah.
How did you feel about
how
do you feel about the portrayal of Arthur? We've talked about like the Merlin stuff and like that half of the story with Vortigern and Uther, and guys, if you don't know how that whole thing works, Wikipedia will solve that problem real quick for you. But like the portrayal of Arthur in this, how did you feel about it?
Okay, I think I had a sort of revelation on that point when I was watching this, because I was thinking, like, we talked about this in our Arthur 101 episode. Like, when I first encountered those tales as a young kid and read the Arthur legends, that was our protagonist, so I identified with him, and I thought he was such a heroic character, and, I had this idea of him built up. And then I see so many adaptations where, like, Arthur, either, like, the casting choice or whatever, like, he just doesn't really live up to the legend that I constructed in my mind as a young boy. Like, it always kind of falls short. Like, he's a little just too, like, I don't know, like, ambivalent, wishy-washy. Like, I don't feel like he's got the gravitas on screen. And then I realized, like, yeah, that's not his character. And I felt like this performance, I really realized that, like, and it's because they really play up his hesitation and his lack of leadership in a lot of situations. Like, he doesn't know what to do with Guinevere. Like, should he try her or not? He has to be kind of like egged on by the nobles around him to make a decision. He can't make it himself. And it is a difficult decision to make. But even as he's watching them set fire to Guinevere, he's like, Merlin, I can't watch it. And so Merlin has to like conjure up the rainstorm, and have this sort of like contrived answer. Like, he doesn't make the decision. His indecision forces others to play a role, forces Merlin to change the weather, and forces Lancelot to ride in to be her savior. And I guess what I mean is, at first I was like, here's another portrayal of Arthur where I just don't really feel like this guy could be the once and future king. Like, he just doesn't have that on-screen presence, especially with the rest of this cast, like this stacked cast.
Yeah.
Like, this is our Arthur. But the fact that, like, I felt like they really brought that out of the character in this adaptation, I think he's the perfect Arthur, because, like, yeah, he's got a lot of heroic aspects, but ultimately you can see why Guinevere rides off of Lancelot. Like, this guy is like plagued with constant indecision, and just like, he doesn't know what he wants. He rides off for a grail for many years, the
crown,
he's all over the
you
place.
can certainly see that the crown weighs heavy on that head. Like,
you see that as well. Definitely when he comes back bearded and just like world weary,
exhausted, like the bags under the eye, like the makeup there. Like, I get why they got the Emmy. Like, the makeup, like, he looks like he's only been gone. Like, his face hasn't aged much. Like, he may have been gone for 5 years, but his eyes and the way he holds himself, it's like he's aged 15. Like, you don't know how long he's been gone, but physically, it doesn't seem like he's been gone more than a couple of years. 5 to 10, but like, emotionally, mentally, he's aged like 2 decades. Twice that. Like he looks beaten and broken and exhausted. I really, really liked this hesitant, naive boy king.
I did as well.
I would have loved to see a little bit more of him being decisive toward the end, like having grown comfortable with the crown. The only thing we get to see about Arthur that I feel like fits older Arthur is the fact that he absolutely whips Mordred's ass, and Mordred is supposed to be, and I quote, as strong as 10 men. And Arthur is just a man. Arthur has always just been a man.
Yeah.
He has Excalibur, but he has not been raised by, the Fae. He's not been given exceptional training. He's just been taught, ethics and morality by Merlin, and that's about it. And he is a strong enough fighter and man to take down Mordred.
It would have been nice, like I was saying, like I felt like this adaptation really played up those less heroic aspects of his character.
Yeah.
And it would have been nice to see, like, but no, we still need to remember, like, there's a reason it's the King Arthur tale. Like, he's the focal point of all these legends. Like, there is something there. Like, he is a legendary heroic character. And maybe he's seen a little bit more of that in his youth. Because, like, we do get, like, his establishment. I feel like he rides off for the Grail, like, pretty quickly.
Almost immediately, yeah.
Yeah. And so maybe a little bit more there. But ultimately, like, it is the Merlin tale. So I kind of get the choice. But what I really like, okay, this adaptation does some really smart stuff. And one of them is the way, like, that hesitation plays out and is his downfall. But you can see his hesitation when it comes to Guinevere, and how that just becomes like a really cowardly aspect to himself. Like, he can't even defend his wife. Like, he's about to watch his wife, his queen, burn alive because he's not willing to stand up. But also you feel the conflict, right? Like, but the king is not above the law. So there's a lot there to think about, right? It's a very good core conflict, and you see how it wears on his character. But ultimately, there's a reason he can't watch, and he gets Merlin to summon the rains. Like, there's a humanity to him, which is why he's been able to rule as like a dignified king, like why he's a good leader. He has never lost sense of his humanity, whereas like in contrast to his father and like some other really villainous leaders around him, right? This is what really sets him apart. And I like that ultimately, like, it comes out in cowardice sometimes or indecision. With Mordred, he stays his hand. He hesitates, but not out of fear or cowardice, out of humanity and empathy. He's looking at his son in the eye as his son is like bleeding, kneeling before him, and he can't deliver the killing blow. But I think it comes from a place of empathy. And that's what gives Mordred the opening to, shiv him in the torso or whatever and kill him. And ultimately he delivers the killing blow to Mordred. And I thought like that, just like that consistent character trait and how it showed itself in different situations and how there was a lot of depth there. And sometimes it's more heroic and more justifiable, like this action because of it. And sometimes it really just like, it's not heroic. It's cowardice. It's a negative character attribute. I thought that was very well done.
I agree 100%. I think so a couple of quick points. One in regards to Arthur's final conflict with Mordred and what happened after. I have to say, much like you, I did not expect to tear up in this movie. Like, I know I'm a emotionally soft boy, and I'll cry in damn near everything, including commercials. But like Arthur sitting on the side of the battlefield, asking Merlin to take Excalibur, throw it into the lake, and saying, "I knew you'd come," and Merlin calling Arthur's son for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we all know how I am about dad stuff. Like, if there's something involving a dad, I'm probably gonna cry about it. That fucking killed. But I just, in regards to the combat and things like that, something I wanted to bring up, and I think it's something that this movie does better than other movies like First Knight or even Excalibur. This movie tries to keep the historical accuracy pretty close to the chest. Like, our understanding of Arthur is that Arthur did not live in England. He lived in Britain. Like, the Saxons had not invaded yet. Like, this is directly post-Roman occupation of Londinium, is what we're looking at for Arthur. Like, the waning of the Celts and that sort of thing. So we're looking at like 400, 500, 600, basically, is what we're looking at, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't see a lot of like plate armor. The only person who wears it is Lancelot. Everybody else is wearing like classic London, like boiled leather loricas and shit. Like, you don't see the classic, like, wide hilted broadswords and high medieval weaponry. No, you see like classic Roman blades with short hilts, and you see pretty nasty fucking axes and maces, and it's just across the board pretty gross. So I mean, like, the weaponry, the armor, I mean, even Merlin is wearing like this kind of like boiled leather and kind of shitty metal skull cap. Most of the soldiers are not wearing what we would see as armor. They stuck very close to what we would expect the historical Arthur to be, with a lot of leeway and artistic license being given with different weaponry and architecture and shit like that, obviously. But like, it's much closer than something like First Knight or several other different versions of King Arthur we've seen on TV and in movies.
That's a great catch. Yeah. I guess I was noticing more the places where it diverged and where it surprised me. And not really with like historical stuff. I guess I'm still thinking about like the original tales.
Like the existence of Mab in this show? Like, at all?
Yeah. I have some thoughts on that. I guess, like, to stick with the positives for one more moment, Guinevere, we didn't talk about Guinevere. Lena Headey is one of the most captivating Guineveres I've ever seen.
Yeah.
On screen. Although, given that she also plays Cersei, would have been better as Morgan Le Fay. Hey?
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's get weird with incest, bud.
Incest.
All right, cool.
So, her performance is great, but like Arthur and how they handle some of these other characters, I like that you get that moment, and it's a very important scene, and it carries a lot of weight when Arthur comes back from the Grail quest and finds out that Guinevere has betrayed him. And they're arguing. And she says, "You left me alone for years in pursuit of this." And I just like that line alone. You know, we always see the tale as more just like, oh, Lancelot and Guinevere, like kind of like a love at first sight. You know, they just like, they couldn't get one another out of each other's heads, and it was always bound to happen, and it wasn't really situational. And you still have that, but then you see like, oh yeah, she was always like feeling that. But really, Arthur, in his negligence, set her up to fall victim to her own passions, right?
Honestly,
because he wasn't there. Like, she was left by herself.
Arthur chose a quest before he chose his queen. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, he could have left the Grail behind and sent his knights out after it and created a beautiful golden Camelot. But instead, he put it on himself that, like, this is a God-given quest for me to find the Grail, which is not the fucking case. It was Galahad's quest the whole fucking time, my guy. But no matter what, Guinevere is stuck with a beautiful, brave, chivalric right-hand man for, we expect, almost a decade, maybe?
Yeah.
And she's only known Arthur for, what, couple years? She knew Lancelot better than she knew Arthur. Really?
Mm-hmm.
And
he was there.
And he was there the whole time, and he was there by her side by his choice.
Right.
Not something she was forced into, necessarily.
So I thought that was very smart. Like, yeah, maybe they're going to do what they do regardless. Like, you can see from their first meeting, like, and that's the story. But I liked that they built a situational reasoning for it.
Yeah.
I thought it was just some very good writing. But it's undercut by a not so good choice, which is, like, I like the character of Mab, and I think she's an important part of this tale. But turning her into this, like, little
devil on
your shoulder of sorts that, like, flits around and, like, influences. Yeah. It's so contrived. Like, there are character-based reasons why people do what they do. Most of their decisions are derived from, like, aspects of their character and, like, their goals and ambitions and failings. And then to just, like, yeah, we've actually set that up for you in this tale. Like, characters are pretty well written, but hey, in case you don't get it, Mab's going to come over and, like, appear in, like, the mirror or, like, behind someone's shoulder and, like, whisper in their ear, like, hey, you know, your husband's cheating on you or whatever it is. That shit sucks.
What frustrated me the most is the classic cliche of someone comes to hell and they're greeted by the devil. And the devil says, you know, basically, welcome to hell. You did all this bad shit. And they're like, well, no. The devil made me do it. And he's like, oh, no, I don't have to make you do anything. You do it all by yourself. And that is so much better than having Mab be this kind of force of, like, not even destruction. She's not forcing anything. Like, this shit was gonna happen if Mab was there or not, except for on occasion someone finding out about something they weren't gonna find out about. And it really, really frustrates me that she was used as a contrivance and not an actual, like, plot driving character.
Yeah. And most of her influence is so unnecessary anyway. So, like, the first time Guinevere sees Lancelot,
she's already in it, man.
I think it's the first time she sees him. Yeah, you get him, like, jousting and he's, like, riding up and, like, the camera, like, dwells on her, like, watching him, and, like, you get it as a viewer. Like, she's into his shit. And then you get Mab, like, just kind of, like, zoom up in behind her, like, he's very handsome, isn't he? Like whispering in her ear, as if she weren't already interested. Like, we don't need Mab to be like, hey, don't you notice how handsome he is? Like, she obviously
gets it.
She gets it. She feels it. And it's like a level of spoon feeding. I'm thinking, like, is it due to the fact that this is like a TV miniseries that people are watching, you know, and they're watching like 20 minutes of content and then there's commercial break and they're coming back, you know, and just
maybe
like, we need to, like, make sure everyone is not confused at any point about who anyone is and what they're doing and why. You're trying to reach, what was it, 70 million people?
70 million,
and not confuse anyone? Maybe, but man, it's just like when stuff like that happens, like, this is the most obvious thing in the world. We don't need Mab to come up here and undercut it because it's already, like, well written. I think overall, like, I like the setup with Mab. I think that's an interesting conflict. I wish they didn't turn her into such a villain because so many of the other villains are complex and well-rounded. You know, like Morgan Le Fay, like I said, I feel like she's really humanized in this and given depth that she doesn't always get. And we have a good motivation on the part of Mab, like, from the outset, like her origin, like her ambitions, her motivations are understandable.
Goddess. She's a goddess who's afraid she's going to be forgotten, basically.
Yeah, and I just don't like turning her into a devil. Like, yeah, she should flirt with, like, villainous aspects to get what she wants, as everyone does, but
why have her do all of this shit that she's doing when she does it better when Frik does it for her? Like, when Frik shows up as the Roman centurion or whatever and basically tells Vortigern, like, Uther's marching toward you. Lord whatever his name is has quit, so you can kill Guinevere now. And he's like, oh, well, that's convenient. And she's like, yeah, for both of us. And it's like, see, that is the villain she should be. I don't need you whispering in other people's ears. Be Mab, be a queen. Don't be your own lackey, basically.
Yeah. I thought that was poorly done. And I guess my other main criticism, and again, it's 1998. It's made for TV. I get it.
Yeah.
But man, some of these effects, some of them are like, I don't mind like bad effects from like the late 90s. You know, there's like a certain charm.
Wait,
like
okay.
A lot of them still have like.
Which effect are we talking about here?
I have a few in mind. Okay. Primarily, the one that I thought looked worse and happened a lot was like speeding up the film for like all the magical creatures are like zooming around at like 2 times speed or whatever.
Yeah, the fairies and elves and gnomes going all over the place.
And Mab as well. They'll like, they'll just like zoom up, like they'll speed up the film of like her, and then she'll just like be moving faster than everything else around her. It's a weird effect. A couple times it seems appropriate, but overall it just like looks really goofy, and they use it a lot. But I think the CG stuff, that dragon, man.
Yeah, that dragon was something special, dragon. Huh?
That thing looks like it belongs in like the logo of like a Hong Kong film distributor.
I was gonna say
the thing that would play
like an Asian
around the logo, like before the credits
creating
roll.
company or something.
Yeah, it should be flying around like some corporation's logo that plays before the credits in like a 1997, 1998 film. It's goofy as shit, and it's such a like it's such an intense, important moment, right? We've got Merlin tethered up and watching Nimue be sacrificed. He's gonna watch her like be consumed by this dragon, and he has a heroic moment where he saves her, and then this thing stomps out. It's like, what the fuck is this? Jim Henson's Creature Shop, you said? Where the fuck were they on this one?
It looked like the boat from Mortal Kombat the movie.
Oh man, what was worse, the reptile creature in the Mortal Kombat movie, or this was worse?
This was pretty bad. I will say, in regards to the special effects, though, sometimes when Frik or Mab had their like exit from the scene, it was fucking cool. There was one, I think it's when Mab leaves Nimue in Avalon. Like, she heals Nimue's face and then brings back the scars, and she's like, if you ever want, just call my name out loud and I'll come back and fix you, and you can be with Merlin, whatever. Evil shit. She flickers a couple of times, which is her normal way of leaving, but I noticed it this time. I didn't notice it any of the other times I've seen the movie. In the back, there is a shadow of her that stays in frame for like an extra 3 seconds and slowly vanishes into the wall. And
that's
goes
cool.
away.
Okay.
And it's like, fuck, that's cool. That's just really fun. So like I loved some of the like, despite the fact that as a guy who's had a seizure before, there were some moments where I'm like, oh fuck. Oh no. this could be a trigger. There were some really, really fun moments when it comes to how they played with the effects they had.
Yeah. Like I said, I get when this was made, and yeah, things are not going to always age well. And some of them were good. Some of them were just like baffling. Like, why did you choose to do this? There's like CG, like pools of blood. I'm trying to remember like which battle it is. I want to say like they're in the snow or something. You just get like
it's when
top-down view of this corpse, and like
it's when Vortigern kills Nimue's dad.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I just remember the blood pooling out like unnaturally. It's like, oh, that's CG. Why?
There were some fun choices they made, effects wise.
The final battle, I mentioned before, it's like, yeah, we got the the goofy blow dryer attack, and then the fingy arrows, and then they kind of just like throwing Roman candles at one another for a little while. But like, I prefer, like, if it's going to be bad effects, I want it to be like tactile, have some texture to it. So like some of them really, they don't bother me if they had that going on.
It was the arrows versus the shield that I was like, okay, that one's pretty good. I'm fine with that one.
Yeah. It's goofy, ultimately, a lot of this. And lean into that, and yeah, okay.
Yeah, have fun with it.
But everyone has a line. Dragon is over my line.
When I saw the dragon, my first thought was, I think Brandon's gonna like this movie, but this may throw him out. This may be the thing that makes him go, "Oh, this sucks."
Nah, I could look past it. It's a momentary thing. It's not. It gave me a good chuckle. That makes me think, though. Okay, this is an interesting choice that this movie miniseries makes. We're thinking about Nimue. First of all, okay. One more thought on like the bad effects. For whatever reason, they dubbed Isabella Rossellini
Her
over
voice,
young Nimue.
yeah.
Why? Why? It's so weird.
Apparently,
it's so weird.
The actress apparently had a really thick accent, thicker than Isabella Rossellini's.
I was gonna say, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay. So does Rossellini. Okay. Well, yeah. All the scenes of young Merlin and young Nimue, you have her voice dubbed over, and it's unnatural.
I heard it and saw it and was like, oh, they could have done this bit different, just a bit different.
Yeah. I didn't get it at first. At first, I was just like, oh, holy ADR Batman. Like, why? What? This is weird. And then I realized, like, oh, that's
her voice.
Her.
Yeah.
Yeah. For whatever reason. Sure. Anyway, aside from that, how did you feel about the choice to have her, like Mab's magic, set up Nimue in this like sort of idyllic little inside the rock paradise that she can enjoy with Merlin forever, but he can never leave? Like, this is a little different than the usual thing where like Merlin is trapped in the stone or whatever it is. Like we have a couple variations.
Crystal Cave
on
most of the time is what
Crystal Cave.
They do. And a lot of times the myth is that Nimue is actually the one who locks Merlin away. She was like his apprentice or something like that locked him away.
Yeah, a lot of times like he's advancing on her and she doesn't want it, or she just like uses him. Right. But this is a major twist on that. It
feels more like you're creating a hero out of Merlin that I think should be. Like, this I mean, we've seen the film miniseries, whatever. Like, oh boy went through seemingly hundreds of years of some pretty rough stuff. Like losing everyone that he's ever loved, making like one bad mistake that basically sends Britain into a dark age, and then losing the woman that he loves the most because he makes a decision to go back to be with his son as his son dies, effectively. Like, I'm good with it, but it's only because I want a happy ending. Like, the main thing is Mab playing on Nimue's desires to lock Merlin away. I mean, honestly, to me, what should have happened is Merlin should have never been able to leave that cave. Like, as soon as he went in with his horse the first time, it should have locked him up. He should not have been able to be there with Arthur. But that would fuck with the story. Or he wouldn't have been able to walk in the cave in the first place. Like, he has to immediately choose between.
I'm just trying to imagine, like,
Nimue.
That's a
bold
cave. Choice. Like, Merlin goes in and is actually trapped like he's supposed to be, and then the series ends, and 70 million people are just like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?"
I think either don't let Merlin out again, or don't let him go in the first place. Like, as he approaches Nimue, he hears Arthur. He should not have had that brief moment of peace and then hear the battle. Like, yes, I understand that, like, that's him getting to choose Arthur over Nimue for a moment, duty over love or whatever, but it overrides what we see as Mab's, like, reason for bringing Nimue there in the first place.
I get that. I think I liked it though. Because I feel it as he's riding in, you know, he can sense it's off.
Yeah, he knows that shit's weird.
And we've set this up in the very beginning of this miniseries when Vortigern has him imprisoned. And he's like, I need the sky. I need the grass. I need nature. I can't have visions in imprisonment. And I remembered that scene as he's riding in, like this would destroy him.
Mm-hmm.
To be locked in this cave for all eternity, even though he's with Nimue, like no sky, no open sky ever again. And I could feel it set up some interesting conflict there with like Nimue as well. Like, oh, she's going to let him go because she knows, like you remember as a viewer, and she certainly knows and remembers him saying that, like this would destroy him.
Yep.
She would be destroying him to have him there. And I felt it in that scene.
Letting him go.
Letting him go and like the conflict on her part, like she wants to be there with him. She has a chance, but she knows what it would mean for him. And she knows what he would be sacrificing for her. And so she doesn't even tell him. And he rides out unbeknownst to him. Like the passage closes behind him. Like he doesn't know that's going to happen. He thinks he's going to be able to like ride back to Arthur and then come back. Yeah, I thought like it might not have been like, I see your criticisms of it, but ultimately it really worked for me. And I kind of liked like, yeah, in the original tales, like Merlin is trapped, would be a bit of a downer when he's our hero for this miniseries. It
would absolutely suck.
That would be that would be disappointing. But it's like, well, what if he were trapped metaphorically? So he's not physically trapped in that cave, but a part of him is going to be trapped there forever and is going to be regretting ever leaving. And I liked that aspect. Like we retain an aspect of that original story in this new twist on it. Like he's able to physically leave, but part of him never left.
Right. Agreed.
And he'll be regretting that choice for the rest of his life.
I like that a lot.
And I thought that was very smart. Yeah. But ultimately, I'm with Frik. I just love happy endings.
Yeah, me too.
You know? Okay. Great last scene.
Yeah.
Like, because you got old man Merlin and you got old man Frik. And part of me, because I'm not well. I do have a deep love of the movie Clifford starring Martin Short. I shouldn't, but damn it, I do. Anyway, old man Frik made me remember like old man Clifford.
Yeah.
From that movie.
I get that.
We had a little bit of that. We had old man Martin Short. It was enjoyable for me.
Okay. I loved everything about this movie, damn near. Yeah, there are some criticisms, and that's fine. Every film will probably have a criticism or two, but I enjoyed the hell out of this. I wanted to bring a couple of interesting things to your doorstep here. First is a more personal one. We've talked about my book a couple of times about the fact that I tried to focus a little bit about the Arthurian legend, and I tried to make it a little like teenage urban fantasy sort of deal.
I thought about your book as I was watching this, actually.
Yeah, I had no idea until I rewatched it that most of the shit about Arthur that I put in my book, I got from this fucking movie. Like,
it was specifically Merlin's magic where he uses like the vines and foliage to like tie down the dragon. It's like that is a specific thing that Bo had planned. I don't remember if it was in your novel or if it's something you talked about having one of your characters like a magic that they're able to do at some point.
It one of the characters in the book, not the main character and not the Merlin character, but one of the characters is able to use like druidic magic like that. Yeah.
I thought about it as I was watching.
And like the fact that he talks about the song of the sword, like he mentions he hears Excalibur's song. Like in a lot of myths, yes, Excalibur is known as like the shining sword or the singing blade or something like that. But this is the first example that I can recall that I heard someone say they heard the song of the sword, and I put that directly in the book and was like, oh shit. And my character's last name is Ambrose, not because it's based on Arthur necessarily, but because it's based on fucking Merlin's mom. Like, Ambrosia. Had no idea where I picked up half this shit until now.
Matt Wagner over here.
Yeah, fucking wild. Give me a cherry Coke stat. The other thing, and this is more for you, This is much more for
Okay.
you. The soothsayer.
Yeah.
The kind of bumbling, oh, they never listen to me. Mab, you finally visited, old man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was Pigsy in all the episodes of Monkey Magic, my guy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Full circle.
Hell yeah.
Birthday
Good
to birthday.
connection.
And we're back.
Hell yeah.
Just wild.
Thank you
Just
for
a
that.
wild connection.
That's wild. You know what else is wild? You know, it's kind of wild sometimes.
I'm assuming some people's opinions on IMDb.
That would be the case. They're not too crazy this time, but I wrangled a few.
I am waited with bated breath.
Maybe we should start with a contemporary review from June 23rd, 1999. This is from Tawile. 4 out of 10. I liked the fish, but the script was groan-worthy. Enjoyable and had nice effects. I particularly liked the Lady of the Lake's fishy necklace. I thought I'd find the reworking of the plot annoying, but it was all right. Myths should grow and change after all. But what was really bad was the script, which was in modern English. I understand that this is accessible, and there's no need to throw in spurious prithys, quoths, welkins, and zounds into every fantasy film, but the writer seemed to have forgotten that modern English can also sound magical and poetical. This just sounded a bit naff.
What the fuck does that supposed... What do you... Okay, I will agree. I think at one point, Frik says I gave her my notice, and I chuckled a little bit.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, that... Actually, one review pulled that line up specifically. A few reviewers had this same issue, and that's pushing it. That's pushing it.
But also, it's a made-for-TV miniseries. Get the fuck over it, gang. All right? Like, this wasn't in theaters. Like, you didn't pay to go see this film. Like...
Yeah.
They made this for the joy of the game.
Also, like, there's like the short loophole. When the line is delivered by Martin Short, you got to give it a little extra wiggle room.
Yeah, agreed. 100% agreed.
Here's a newer one, December 28th, 2023.
Holy shit, that's
from
recent.
LW08854. A terrible first half and a decent second half.
Suck my
6 out of
butt.
10. Merlin starts off with some pretty awful 1990s TV CGI, terrible overacting, bad makeup, and some really cartoonish villains. Rita Repulsa seems like she's making an appearance, I'm afraid. I kind of just pulled this out because I really like calling Mab Rita Repulsa. I didn't see that, but I see it now.
What's funny is she did play a Rita. Like, she was Rita Skeeter in the Harry Potter films.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right. Another full circle.
And
We
we're
also
there.
get lots of magical creatures and dialogue about punching through ice. You want to turn it off, but if you carry on, things do get better. Though the sidekick is instantly annoying, it's almost Jar Jar Binks. But once Merlin starts to get involved in some of the political battles happening, things do improve. Stakes start to develop. There's a bit of a love story, some blood and battles. The effects, though, remain dire. Merlin also seems just so chilled out and mellow that it's hard to believe he really cares too much about what's happening. When we finally get to Uther Pendragon, though, it all does get better. That happened so early.
I was going to say,
Helena
maybe he
Bonham
only
Carter.
watched the first episode.
Helena Bonham Carter is clearly having fun when she comes along and brings some much-needed fun and sex appeal. The second half of the film is all about setting up Mordred and Arthur as rivals, one brought up to believe in justice and mercy, the other to believe in cruelty and only himself. We even get Lancelot and unspecified references to quests abroad taking years. The time period is not stated. They mention Saxon raids, but it's also clearly the medieval times based on the armor and castles. They want it both ways. The series does have jarring modern dialogue about handing in my notice and not expecting a reference. There it is. The actual story of Arthur is really cool, so the series does benefit from that. His first meeting with Mordred is quite good. Everything just looks really cheap, though. The lighting is very flat, and again, the special effects are just not up to standards. The dragon looks like something from a 1997 PlayStation game. All in all, strange series. That one. Yeah.
That is some hardcore fucking Gen Alpha bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, my guy. Like, I respect your opinion. I do. I respect your opinion as a reviewer of films or whatever, but there are some glaring fucking mess ups and whoopsie doodles in that review. Like, I was clenching my fists through that one. That one hurt me a little bit. That one made me a little upset.
I kind of chose that one, like I said, reader repulsa, and also just like, again, Helena Bonham Carter, incredible in this, and she's beautiful, but sex appeal?
Appeal.
I don't know. What was it? Was it her like picking at her teeth and
and the strange and the childlike speech impediment that she had? Was that what you were looking for? And I'm sorry, Mordred and Arthur are not rivals. They're not rivals. They're not rivals. That's not how a rival works.
But isn't parenting the ultimate rivalry?
You're a fucker. You're an absolute bastard. Bastard man. Yeah, I guess it's That's
a callback. You can call back to things like that. Do not call back to Mickey Rooney. That's the rule of life.
The rule of short.
Other things.
You can call back to parenting, but not Mickey Rooney.
Never go full Mickey. You never go full Mickey.
Oh.
It applies to Rooney and also the mouse, because that's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Just waiting to happen.
Never mess with the House of Mouse, man.
Maybe a couple more. Okay, if I were to tell you this review starts, Merlin goes on forever, what would you be expecting?
4 out of 10 stars. Movie's too long?
10 out of 10 from Tango Bar, November 19th, 2006.
Merlin
goes on forever. An excellent movie about magic, love, and dreams. If you believe in those things, watch this fantastic movie. Merlin thinks that he still hasn't found what he's looking for. Legendary wizards
keep it together.
Surrender. Still hasn't found what he's looking for. The most magical adventure of all time. Imagine a world where dreams come true and magic is real. That one made me happy.
That's delightful.
I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, but damn, I would give it something nice.
Yeah.
Something nice. All right. This one's for the families. This one's for the kids. It chronicles some important information for anyone who hasn't seen this movie and is listening to our episode anyway. Just before you go in, here's some things that you need to know.
Yeah, at the very end of the episode.
Structure. From Defunky Star, March 1st, 2020. Another fairly recent one. 8 out of 10. I would rate this PG-13. This review contains spoilers. The following review is to help parents decide if their kids should watch this movie. Positive messages. Merlin Nimue,'s relationship is innocent and pure. Merlin always returns to her because he loves her. She lets him go because she loves him. Sex. 3 out of 5, maybe 4 out of 5. There are a few, 3, scenes where sex is suggested and couples are shown embracing. Couples frequently shown kissing. One scene shows the shape, in candle wax, of bodies embracing and the shape of a woman's face during sex. Talk of lust, talk of love. Themes of love and lust are throughout the film. 2 female leads have heavy, sexy makeup on. One scene, a king sits Queen Mab on his lap and is suggestive towards her. Language, 1 out of 5. Use of words like lust in conversation, suicide to describe action. Violence, 3 out of 5. Violence is depicted during 2 war scenes with swords. One scene, a man pushes his sword through another's body and there is blood. And 2 men continue to talk as they die. One man kills himself with his sword. Queen Mab uses magic to kill other women, is indifferent about death. Morgan Le Fay says that nothing ever lasts. A 3 to 4-year-old throws a dagger at Mab's head. Scary images.
That's how he ends the violence topic.
They involve children in this.
Oh, fuck.
Scary images. Queen Mab. Consumerism. None. Drinking, drugs, smoking. Drinking alcohol, 1 scene. So just, wanted to content warning.
Dude, I'm sorry. I would give it
out for everyone.
If this was a 3, maybe 4 on sex, I'd give it a 4, maybe 5 on violence.
I can't believe.
I just love
pretty high. Wait, what? This is like maybe a 4 out of 5 on sex? You get like a little bit of like shoulder.
You don't
upper
even
back
see.
in
You don't
wax.
even see a single butt cheek. You don't even see the curve of a breast.
No side boob. No
Nothing.
butt cheek. Nothing. And again, it's just like you get like from head down to like the shoulder blades in like what 2 scenes?
Did you see it on
3?
DVD or did you see it streaming?
I streamed it.
Because on the DVD version, Sam Neill hangs dong like twice.
Oh shit! I knew it. It's because I live in Japan, and they really censor that stuff.
Yeah. You just
so
got.
That's where
you just have.
There was a big pixelated circle on my screen.
Yeah,
that was Sam Neill dong.
That was a hog, just right on screen for you, bud.
After he dropped those pants, did he just yell "grow"?
Yeah, he did. He did. You beat me fucking to it.
I like reading this as like a qualitative, like, I know it's like the level of intensity, which that's insane. This is a 4 out of 5 on sex. But I kind of like, just like that one paragraph, I kind of like reading that as like a qualitative judgment. Like sex was average. It was actually kind of steamy. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 on that sex. It was pretty good.
I just, the fact that the violence bit ends with 3 or 4-year-old chucks dagger at man is just so fucking good.
I like it that this is not something I usually get in content warnings when I've read these before. It's usually just like a list of like behaviors, but like, but then, it's not just even about what they did. It's like how the characters feel about it afterwards. She's like, Mab is indifferent about death, the indifference.
Yeah.
I like that they're bringing that into the equation.
They don't even mention the fact that Morgan falls down a flight of steps and breaks her neck. Like, not even, but a 3 or 4-year-old chucks a dagger at a dude's chest. We gotta bring that shit up.
Who are the 2 female leads that have the sexy makeup on? The heavy, sexy makeup. Are they talking about Mab and the Lady of the Lake?
I assume it's Mab and Morgan, but that's
yeah.
That's all I can think
I guess
of.
It's heavy
because like.
I'm gonna give that a 1 out of 5 on my sex.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not.
Guinevere's not wearing tons of makeup, and neither is Nimue.
Mm-hmm.
It's that fish. It's that fish necklace. The fish necklace is.
I meant to go back and look. Like, I don't know what that reviewer is talking about.
About the fish necklace?
Yeah, I don't remember the necklace particularly.
Oh yeah, she loses fish as she grows weaker. Like she starts off with a choker full of fish, basically, that swim around her neck. And as the movie goes on and people begin to forget her, like eventually I think she only has like 3 fish left that swim around her neck at the end of the movie.
That's cool. Okay. I wasn't paying enough attention.
You made it really sound like you're cool with it, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll give that necklace a 2 out of 5. I don't know. Didn't rank.
2 out of 5 sexy.
Didn't rank.
2 out of 5 sexy fish.
No, I mean, that's the one. I assume that's the female lead they're talking about, in which case, yeah. 5 out of 5 heavy. Sexy makeup.
The problem is both of those actresses are the same actresses. Like.
Well, we're evaluating the heavy, sexy makeup and not so much like.
Oh, so characters,
again,
not actors. Sure.
Well, this is specifically an evaluation of the sexy makeup. It's not about the actress, the performance, or what's underneath the makeup. It's the level of makeup and how sexy it is.
I get it. I mean, honestly, Sam Neill's dong could have used a little bit more makeup.
Yeah. Wait, was it like...
Don't.
Was it part of the framing device? Did they have the old man makeup on it? Or was it earlier in the tale?
It had a beard.
Or did you have a great moment of like where he's de-aging and it just pans down and you get like a steadily like younger version of a dong like overlaid over the old dong? And
he loses the beard and so does the dong.
He's got pubes down to his knees and they just like shrink back up to like just a normal bush along with his beard.
Yeah.
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 And there's a moment there
There's a
where
moment
it's like
where
perfectly overlaid, where he's just so fucking handsome. God, 5 out of 5 Sam Neill.
5 out of 5 Sam Neills. That's how we. That's
sexy Neil.
That's how we judge sexy from now on. It's how many Sam Neills you are. You are a 5 out of 5 Sam Neills. Oh fuck.
Oh. Yeah, I think I'm done. I'm done with this.
Stick a fork in us.
Thank you.
That's Merlin, I guess. But thank you so much for listening.
Y'all should watch it.
It's real good.
If you didn't watch it with us, you should watch it. It's currently, if you have Amazon Prime, you can stream it. It's included.
Oh, really? I didn't have to bust out my DVD?
I didn't have to sign up for a 1-week trial at a Mormon streaming service this time.
Well,
This wouldn't have been on there.
It's a 4 out of 5 sexy.
Or 4 out of 5 on sex. That can of wax would have been just taken right out of there.
The BYU TV channel cannot have a 3 or 4-year-old chucking daggers at a man.
Let alone that Sam Neill dong.
That Sam Neill dong. 5 out of 5 Sam Neills. Thank you so much for listening. Please drop us a line about your feelings about Sam Neill's dong or the Merlin film in general at sourcenotfoundpod@gmail.com. Check us out on all of our socials, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram. Check us out on YouTube, where we have a backlog of all of our episodes, as well as all of the video games that we've covered on the podcast that Brandon has streamed on Twitch. And speaking of which, Brandon, are you still playing all of that jank?
Twitch.tv/LegionBug for maybe jank. I've now, I keep getting baited into having like a little mini goal, and then we just hit it. So it's just people find excuses to get me to play more jank. So we have like cleared a couple of the janky games off. I finished Harry Potter on PS1. But there's plenty of jank still happening. But what I started The Witcher 1, which that was suggested because like the combat's kind of janky. But my God, I'd only ever put a few hours into The Witcher 1 some years back, playing that through, among other things. And my God, it's so fucking good. It's so good.
Is it really?
Oh, I love it. I'm like, okay, I have the Witcher fever unleashed. This is not our show, but like anyone that's interested, like I'm doing another book club through my Twitch channel. Again, come on by if you want to contribute or be a part of it. So at the end of April, we've got a book club discussion that I'll do on stream for anyone that has read The Last Wish, where I feel like you're supposed to start. That's what Reddit told me.
I'll be there
when you're reading through the Witcher books. It's a good read. I'm not done with it yet, but I'm having a lot of fun thus far. Yeah. So I don't know. Are we gonna do Witcher on this show at some point? I'm feeling like I want to, but yeah, good shit. Good shit. Yeah. So therefore, sometimes games that we talk about on the show, I play them there and play other things. I archive stuff on YouTube, and YouTube is also the place that you can get more music from St. Coelacanth, aka Jesse Jelena. Made that wonderful theme song that we use.
Slapping good theme song.
Has been putting out, so has just like, I think it's an EP. I'm sorry if I have this wrong. Has been sharing a lot of music with me recently, and we played some on my stream the other day. Incredible new work. I think it's all up on YouTube. I think just dropped like 6 new tracks. So good. Links down in the show notes. Seriously, go check it out. Really good shit.
Cool. Love that.
Yeah. Also, I'm so sorry. We forgot last episode. We did not do our Patreon shoutouts. It was the end of the month.
Yeah, we didn't because Mage hurt us. Mage hurt us in a bad way. Mage
hurt. You know, like Kevin Matchstick when he sees a dog that won't listen to him, just like beat the memory right out of us. Don't. I'm trying to. I shouldn't be allowed segues. Don't let me do segues.
I was gonna say we're gonna have Sarah McLachlan fucking playing underneath what you just said.
Hey, so with that, let's name all the people that contribute to this show and give me a chance to say these kinds of things.
And they take good, careful care of their pets. They take good, careful care of their pets. Love them.
I guess let's just do 2 shout outs, both episodes this month.
Yeah.
Make up for it.
We
love y'all. We're so appreciative. To Frederick Vibeg Vorhog, Jacob Swindell, Susie Daggs, 13th Horseman, and Joey Bishop. Thank you all so much. You keep us going.
Friendship.
Yeah, thanks, and sorry about being depressed about our previous topic and not getting you guys.
We're so sorry. We'll do better. We would have done better if Mage did better.
Yeah.
We are really throwing Matt Wagner on the bus. I'm so sorry. It wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't. I think
it's not that fault. I just forgot. I honestly just got,
I was so saddened by the expectation and then what actually was, I think. So like I also forgot, but part of it is because I walked into that episode going, grits. So that's just kind of where I was, but we love you, patrons and listeners. We love you too. So much.
We do. Thank you so much for listening.
I was gonna say something about Sam Neill again, but I'm picturing those beautiful blue eyes, those beautiful baby blues, telling me to grow. Not in like a weird sexual way, but like as a human being, like be better. Maybe also in a weird sexual way. I don't know.
I'll give that a 3, maybe 4 out of 5 for sex.
What if I was wearing aggressive makeup? What if I was wearing a fish necklace? The band, not the animal.
1 out of 5. Take a shower.
Yeah.